Welcome to the Dr. Tanned Asians podcast. I'm your host, Victor, and today we have a very, very, very special, cool guest, actor and martial artist from Malaysia, Megat Sharizal. If I said it right.
Sharizal.
Sharizal. Let me say that
Sharizal.
again. Megat Sharizal. There you
Yeah.
go. Okay. Welcome, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to be here.
So, Megat, I met you here in LA. We went to, I attended the premiere for a movie I want to talk to you about called Walid, in which you starred in.
Hmm.
And I was completely surprised and just astounded by the film. It was a great film, and I want to talk about it, and I want to discuss more about it later on. But I want to get to know you first. So uh, you were brilliant in the film, and
Thank you.
I wanted to ask, did you always want to get into acting? Like, how did you begin your career? What was that conversation in your head like?
Okay. Actually, uh, it's a not a little known fact. Is actually I've already acted in front of the camera since I was 5 years old.
Oh, okay.
I yeah but not for film or dramas. I did some TV commercials since I was 5 until I was in my early teens, and then it just stopped. So I mean, I had that kind of exposure in front of the camera since I was very small. But I had that interest on becoming an actor from since I was a child, but I didn't see any. I mean, typical Asian bringing up. You have to finish your school and
Yep.
then go to college and then get a proper job, get a family. That kind of upbringing is typical Asian upbringing.
Right.
But uh, when I went to college, I started learning. I started doing theater. That's my first exposure to the world of acting.
Mhm.
So and then after finishing my college, I had my degree. I I did work in an office for 1 year, but at the same time I did theater part time, and then I quit my job, just to look for another job, and started doing theater, and then it didn't stop for up until now. So I went into it by accident, but somehow it just became a career.
No, I want to ask you. I want to piggyback on that.
Yeah,
You you said that you got a job and you looked for another job while working theater part time.
yeah.
Did you all Was the whole plan to get into the films, and these other jobs were just sort of like just a placeholder? Did you get into those jobs thinking I may stay long term, or was that all in your plan from the beginning?
No, I think, yeah. At first I did think that I had that normal office job for long term.
Mhm.
I At that point I really thought that theater was part time. Didn't really, but the acting jobs just didn't stop. I mean, I auditioned. I got a part, and then I keep auditioning, and then it just continued until at one point I just started jumping from theater to do films. So uh, so at one point uh, the, the job is it's not in the picture anymore. So the acting roles keep coming and coming. So yeah, like I said, it just snowballed into something, and then until a certain point, I think uh, 2 years into that, I decided, okay, this is it. I'm going to do this full time. Mm.
Right. Okay. No, I mean, so everything just kind of fell into place, and
Yeah,
and it from the beginning. So it was like fate almost. Like, hey, this is where God wanted you to go. So we got the acting background covered.
Yeah.
the martial arts background. All right,
Okay.
let's talk about that. So in this film, okay, Waleed, which we're gonna circle back. We're gonna talk about more. It features pencak silat. It's been utilized more in a lot of films, especially in America. And now, and I know it's obviously comes from Malaysia, Indonesia, whatever you wanna call it, but the Malay Peninsula,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I saw you in action, and I know you've been doing it for a while. So talk about your background in pencak silat and any other martial arts that you've studied.
Okay. I started learning silat when I was started doing it when I was 14 in school. So it was for during school, it was not really a serious thing, but it was obviously influenced by the 80s and 90s action films. I mean, you watch Jackie Chan, you watch all those Jean-Claude Van Damme
Yeah,
films, and you just want to do it,
yeah,
and happen to be that I think that I should learn the Malay martial arts. So I just started doing silat, but again, it wasn't really a serious thing at first. And then when I finished high school, during college, I had more friends joining me doing learning silat in my gelanggang. I mean, the school of yeah. So we just continued, and then there at that point, I think between I was 18 to 23, 24, I was really active in college, doing. We entered competitions. I managed to represent my state a few times, and then. Yeah, so while studying, that was sort of a hobby, a part-time thing that you do as part of your um, activity. I mean, for kind of sports for me. And but when after I graduated, it just it just phased out. I mean, I just focused more on my acting, and when when I started acting, a lot of people did not know that I had silat background. But other than silat, I mean, I do go to Muay Thai gym, and I did attend some capoeira classes.
oh nice.
Uh, yeah, just to I mean, and then I did go for a few boxing classes, just to vary your moves, your style, not fixed on one style, so that you can be more flexible.
Right.
And I think when I started doing theater, one of the things that I think what silat really helped was I did back in 2006. I did a musical which required
Let's go.
you to act, sing, and dance. I think the conditioning with silat helped me uh, to become a better dancer during when I did the musical.
Yeah.
And then again, like I said, I only started, I only managed to showcase my talents during Geran, which is Ariel's first film. And yeah, and fortunately, this is, I mean, the first time I'm playing a lead, and it's an action film.
Right. Right. So basically you had all that training
Mhm.
that basically equipped you,
Yeah,
not unknowingly equipped you for this lead role, which
yeah,
I saw, and again we're going to talk about the movie a little bit later, but I saw your performance and I also saw your action. That's hard to do. Not many people think, that's why a lot of stunt people do, or martial artists that go into film do what they do,
hmm
and then actors do what they do. They don't
yeah,
understand that it is physically taxing and also mentally
Yeah.
taxing. And you did both. We had discussed that you guys filmed it during the pandemic. Not the
Yeah.
heart of the pandemic, but during the pandemic. How was with with the physical requirements, and also the mental requirements as well, especially during the pandemic? How difficult was it? Like run by what you had to go through,
Yeah.
just filming this as the lead role.
Yeah. I mean, that was one challenge. And then, because fortunately, when we were filming, we were filming it up north in
Okay.
Malaysia, which the cases were not as bad as in Kuala Lumpur. I think Kuala Lumpur was the central place, the location where lots of cases were still at large at that time. But so we filmed it up north, which I think at that point in time there were only less than the numbers were only 3 digits. So, and then when we were shooting, somehow we were quite in a bubble, but still it was important to keep the safety of everyone. But somehow, I mean, personally, during the shoot, there's only one time I had to go back to Kuala Lumpur, and it was during one of the shoot of the action sequences, and I got infected.
Oh.
Yeah. So I mean, but fortunately, I didn't infect anyone else. I had to quarantine for 5 days, and it was I mean, the it was it fit fitness wise, I was actually quite okay. It
Yeah.
wasn't that bad because I had time to train my cardio especially. But the interesting thing is how Ariel, the director, didn't want me to lose weight.
Right.
But yeah, but the other part was, I mean, to battle COVID during filming the action sequences. That was, oh my god, I mean, it was tough. I mean, I had when I went back in, I still had blocked nose, and
Okay.
then because the location was quite dusty,
Yeah.
it didn't help with the blocked nose. So sometimes it was difficult to breathe. But well, it was managed quite well because we had professional martial artists there, so I had it easy. So if you say that what you look was wonderful, it wasn't just me. It was helped by these people around me who was they helped me a lot to make, and Ariel also with his direction,
Right.
to just make everything look great.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So your performance, especially going through COVID, right? I mean, COVID, we all could say, like you said, a stuffy nose can help put a detriment to your breathing.
Yeah.
And when you're doing these action scenes, you need to breathe because you know how many takes you're going through. And you said it's dusty, and of course in Malaysia and in Southeast Asia, it's very humid. So
Yes.
in essence, it's already hard to breathe. It's not like here in America, at least in California, which you were there. The weather is decent, in many parts of the year. You guys had a great crew, you had a great cast, especially a great director, on knowing and managing, right? Managing the set, because a lot of directors don't get credit for managing the whole program, the whole ship, right? And I think Ariel did. I think he's wonderful, and he did a great job in putting everything together. When people see your performance and then understand what you had to go through, they're gonna be like, "Wow, okay." I mean, it's not easy, as you know, right? Films, acting is not easy. On top of that, physical acting, action acting, is on top of it is not easy. Okay, now we're gonna get to the actual film. All right.
Okay.
Like, so what to the audience? Okay, what what is Walid about? Well, tell us about the film.
Okay, Walid is basically about this voluntary teacher who comes and teaches a lot of undocumented children in a border town from Malaysia and Thailand, and a lot of these children are not local. They are probably from Thailand or from other parts of the world, and he teaches them because they are undocumented. They can't go to school, so he voluntarily teaches them, and then he meets this one girl called Aisha, and they form a bond of teacher, student, and also some kind of like father and daughter kind of relationship. And at the same time, at the town, there's this human trafficking syndicate going on. And they did the mistake of kidnapping Aisha, and that is where we reveal who Walid really is.
Right. And you know what? You and I had talked along with the director Ariel. You guys had told me that a lot of the teachers, school grade teachers in Malaysia, a lot of them are well versed in self defense. A teacher also being a protector in Malaysia.
Yeah, I guess because being teachers, they have to set a big example to the student. I mean, I think what we're saying this teachers having background in martial arts. I think it applies to like where we actually filmed Walid in the northern part, because even one of the actors in the film, he's a real teacher teaching in school. So I think because for him it's important, not just being a protector to the kids. I mean, it's just continuing the tradition. I mean, appreciating silat or any local martial arts as a culture. Yeah.
Right.
And going to that town, I mean, a lot of people did ask me. I mean, because when they saw these kind of films, why does everyone in that film, especially like Grant, why does everyone in that film know silat? Well, if you really go to where we film Walid, it's really like that. Everyone you meet, like they know, they know, or they've been studying silat. I mean, talk to while we're filming, I'll go to one of the stalls to buy some drinks, and the boy will ask me, are you filming this film? Yes. Okay, I used to study. I used to do silat there. Then you go. I amended my shoe. The little girl also said the same thing. I mean, everybody there. Because it's just it's not just being a teacher. I mean, that's your contribution to the society, being this culture aspect, this to have it this tradition to continue on. You know, I think it's important for everyone to know how important our tradition and culture is.
Right. No, I think that, absolutely that's such an interesting dynamic, right? And that's something that I appreciate, especially originally coming from Indonesia. When I saw the film, that was what your character was doing, not just academia, not just martial arts or self-defense, but also be a mentor, right? Yeah. We always often forget that teachers are mentors as well too. And I think that your character really, really displays it, especially with Isha, that you became a father figure to. You became a mentor to them. Why is this story important for you?
Well, because there's a few aspects that I look at. I mean, number one, from the from the martial arts point of view, I'm so happy that I'm films about, especially Southeast Asian martial arts films are traveling. Because it started, the boom started with Hong Kong, and then in Southeast Asia we had Ong Bak
Yes.
making it big first, and then
Right.
we have Merantau,
Right.
Merantau and the Raid,
Right.
and then so right now, throughout the world, people are exposed to what Southeast Asia martial arts is. I mean, they've seen kung fu, they've seen karate, they've seen taekwondo. So now it's now for it. I think it's our turn to
Yes.
to showcase what our capabilities to the world. That's
Right.
one thing. And then with this boom, it's just I mean, doing this film, it made me realize one thing. It's there's a gap between like our generation that grew up with the martial arts movie of the 80s and 90s,
Right.
and because during, if you notice, during the 2000s there was a bit of a downfall. I mean,
Yeah.
there's not a lot of martial arts movie during the early 2000s, right? So because of this, the interest in learning Silat just went down in among children. So with this kind of films, the Red Rantau or everything, and Geran, Walid, I hope it just opens a new kind of interest for the children to learn back our culture, Silat.
Right.
And the other thing that I noticed is it's so hard, especially in Malaysia, to find actors that has Silat background that is under 30 years old. I've actually have,
Really?
yeah, it's
Okay.
maybe there is, but I haven't found one. I mean, there's I mean, in the film we see potentials. I mean, they are martial artists, but they're not trained actors yet. So, and then there's actors, but they're not trained martial artists. So to have this skill combined, I hope with this kind of films, it just creates the interest, you know.
You had mentioned about where you want to see this film, also the Malaysian film industry. I might have put words in your mouth, but the Malaysian film industry go. You know, we started with Hong Kong films. We started with then Thailand, right, with Ong
Yeah.
Bak and what have you. Then Indonesia with the Pemerintah raid, and then with Gran and Walid for Malaysia. Okay, one of the good things about the pandemic, right, during 2020 was, at least at home, I was sitting at home. I was like, man, I can't. What can I do? I'll go on Netflix, and then not only will I go on Netflix, I'll see what's around the world, and I was very impressed with the content outside of America. It was beautiful. It was magnificent, and that's what all these streaming services allowed for us to see. I'm like, okay, now there's an opportunity for a lot of other countries in the world to get their stuff out. And I seen a big boom in Korean cinema now,
Yeah.
right? And so now, in my head, it was like, where's our turn? Meaning like Indonesia, Malaysia, especially Malaysia. Where's our turn? Okay, so
Yeah.
where do you want to see Malaysia go as far as being recognized in the world? What do you envision, and what do you think it's going to take to get there?
Well, I really hope that we can I mean, create because okay, relating it to the Korean industry, because they did it very smartly. They did it. They did it so that the culture travel around the world. I mean, it's not just martial arts. It's their songs, their films. I mean, K-pop, everything.
Yeah.
So I think I'm hoping that this this kind of thing can we can achieve it as well. I mean, make our culture films to travel. I hope because like what happened with Walid traveling to the US is just
Yeah.
one step of a bigger step. So that I hope the films, not just martial arts film, other films as well, to really, I mean, to for people to notice and because the biggest star, biggest name that's coming out of Malaysia, that came out of Malaysia, is Michelle Yeoh.
Yeah.
I mean,
People don't know that she's from Malaysia.
yeah,
But
although,
yes.
although she said it proudly during the Oscar speech, but people still like, okay, that's one. So what else?
Yeah.
So
Right.
who else? I mean,
Right.
yeah. So I'm just hoping that I mean we can, not just Malaysia. I mean uh, and probably I'm not. I think we can even do some cooperation. So do some co-production. I mean we had that during the 80s. I mean Malaysia production houses did co-production with Indonesia, but somehow it just went less and less, and we just, I mean, Indonesia did their thing, Malaysia did our thing, and I'm just hoping probably in the future we can collaborate. And we
Right.
can just, I mean, our language is not that
No.
far. I mean, you can understand me if I speak
Right.
Malay, and
Right.
yeah. So we are. I mean, in the film, in Walid itself, we did mention kita ini serumpun, which means we are one.
My final question to you, okay? You have been on a roll. This man here, guys, has studied martial arts, has since he was a young kid, has studied acting, and since he was a young kid, also musicals, okay? And I sense that acting is something that you want to keep on doing, right? So what are your future plans? Also, what are your long-term goals as an actor, as a filmmaker, as a martial artist? What are your long-term goals? What do you want to see yourself, Megat Sharizal, go?
Yeah, personally, I did this. I want to. I think someone else did ask me this question why am I keep doing this even though during the pandemic everything just fell apart, but I started after the pandemic. I kept going on because I think for me it's important because film is everlasting.
Right.
So I really hope that personally what I achieve as a filmmaker, at least I can have something for myself as an actor, as a director, a film that is part of the, at least part of the Malaysian history. So you can see one of the important films in Malaysian or even the world history. I hope that my film can affect the future generation to learn about what is the culture, what is the story, what is our history, whatever is happening during whatever. That is my biggest goal. I hope that people not remember me but my film, my work. They see that and I really hope that will, because like I said again, film is everlasting. You still watch Charlie Chaplin's movie
Yes.
until now. So yeah, that I hope that one day that this kind of my film will be a reference or something. That's for me. Yeah.
Amen. No, that's a goal. That's an important goal to have, and that's an important outlook to have. In you want your message, you want your storytelling, you want your vision to be had, and I think that's spoken like a true artist that you are. So, So I want to ask you. Actually, I lied. It's not my last question. What can you talk about any future projects that you have in line?
Okay.
Are you allowed to?
Uh, as the as an actor, I think Ariel is going to do his next film.
Okay.
Again, Ariel's casting is a bit mysterious, so I don't know what part
Okay.
I'm playing in that film.
Okay.
But as a filmmaker, I've already shot my first directorial debut
Nice.
in February, and the title of the film is Mencari Ramli
Okay.
or Finding Ramli. If it's about P. Ramli. P. Ramli is our local legend filmmaker. He's an auteur.
Nice.
Is for Malaysian. Even some Indonesian will recognize his name because he's the greatest artist during our golden era. So it's about him. It's a tribute to him, but also at the same time, it's a tribute to the filmmaking industry in Malaysia. If any of you guys are curious, just go to YouTube and search Mencari Ramli trailer. So it's Mencari Mencari. So you can
Okay.
see but that's hopefully I'm releasing it in May next year.
May of next year. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds very. You obviously that's the versatility of your film mind, right? I'm thinking, oh, it's gonna be like Silat film. No, a biographical film about one of the classic auteurs in the Malaysian, obviously Malayu Peninsula.
Yeah.
In film, so it's more of like a tribute to an artist. So,
Yeah.
that didn't catch me off surprise, but it kind of did. You know what I mean? So that is awesome. So I mean, it just speaks to your versatility, vision, and I can't wait to see it. So May of next year, that it'll be released, and that's your directorial debut.
Yes.
Awesome,
Yes.
awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. No, that I can't wait. That sounds so interesting because I have to research on this Ramli auteur, this gentleman named Ramli, and that's going to be featured in films, or is that going to be, are you planning to put it on streaming services or festivals,
It's
or?
gonna be a feature film, but I am planning to send it to festivals.
Nice.
Yeah, we don't know which festivals yet, but hopefully, yeah. We'll be updating it on I think on my IG will be
Okay.
updating it. Yeah. So hopefully, yeah, it's it. And after we have to release it on in the cinemas first. Maybe after that, the future plans for it probably it'll be up on streaming services.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll definitely be looking out for it, and I guess I will see you in America then for the premiere, God willing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Megat, thank you so much for coming on,
It's an
and thank you for taking the
honor.
time
Yeah.
to talk. No, it's my honor, it's my privilege. Waleed is the film. Megat Sharizal is the actor. All the things that happened in your life and your background led up to this. You're like tailor made for the industry. So I can't wait to see more Malaysians. Again, even though I'm originally from Indonesia, I want to see our group of people flourish. Because as a filmmaker and actor myself, it helps me. God bless you guys, and thank you so much, and thank you for tuning into the Darker Tanned Asians. Thank you, Megat Sharizal. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you.